Get with the Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grumler.
Wolverine.
And that was one hell of a CrossFit Games.
Damn, dude. That's all I'm going to say. Damn.
From top
across the board. Damn.
Yeah, damn.
All. Damn.
All divisions.
Divisions, damn.
Like,
age groups, damn. The open, damn.
Teams.
Damn.
Teams I was like, I need to go back and watch Teams.
Dude, there's so many events I need to go back and watch. Like, I hate the fact that I said that, like, someone's like, what'd you think of this event? And I'm like, I don't really even remember that one.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that double row? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I saw that. I came in, I was like,
I had to go back.
Coming. Yeah.
I know, dude. That's what I mean. There's like so much stuff. And if you're not like perusing everything, man, then you miss stuff right away. It's crazy.
Not just that, but like just the outside stuff too, like the affiliate gym that they put together and we're running classes, the lounge.
I'm so bummed I didn't get to see that.
Dude, it was so sick. I got to coach a class there.
I know.
On my off day.
That's what you guys were on rain delay or whatever.
Off days, rain delays. But even that, like, that was probably the most interference we've ever had with weather.
Oh, dude, totally.
I think in the history.
It's never rained that many times.
Yeah, we've had some, but I don't remember a time when we had to like move an event.
Nope, never.
Ever. Which is wild. I mean, wild. How lucky have we been for 15 years into year 16?
Yeah. Well, move an event, modify an event, reschedule events.
Yeah.
And then there was a day where it was just super nice and hot and sunny. On top of that.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was crazy.
Thank you, Corey. It was so awesome to be back. It was so nice to listen to Bill on a broadcast.
It was nice to be
like,
there.
I'm going to go back and watch the age groups, and I have never done that. Really, just to listen to you broadcast again.
Oh, thanks.
I'm dead serious. I just want to listen to it again.
It was fun. Me and Jeff had so much fun.
And Jeff back too. I mean,
yeah,
that guy does a good job.
He's the Bob Uecker of CrossFit, man.
Bob Uecker of CrossFit.
Well, Madison, Wisconsin. We got to age groups ready to play. Oh, Bill. I'm like, wow. He does that every time. It's awesome. So good. Dude, we had so much fun.
And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all the messages. I got so many messages throughout the weekend, which was really encouraging because I know we're not competing. And at no point in time should I ever complain about being tired or run down. But we put a lot into what we do, whether it's prep. I mean, all the conversations you were having with all of the age groupers leading up to it. And during it, it was just, I'm like in this like emotional high for 5 straight days that I don't come down from until it's over.
The one of the funnest things, and that's totally true. We've done that a bunch of times. And we kind of know that there's that build up to Christmas, and then Christmas is over and you're like, oh, and there's that depression.
Yeah.
Jeremy Austin was out there and he brought his fiance with him, Lex, and it was the first time she's seen him.
Dude.
And she
super cool too.
Oh, super cool. And she was a volunteer. She worked with the teams, worked with the broadcast group, and she's like, when it was done, she was on the depression side of it. And she's like, this is so, in her accent, this is so weird, in her little Australian accent. It was funny, but like, that's that drop, and everybody gets it. All those people that, they fly from wherever. And we met people from all over the world, dude, that come to the games, and everyone's so excited to be there. And then when it's done, it's like, it's over.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Corey, yes. Also, hello. Hello to the Corys out there. Teddy, Alyssa, Richard, Melissa.
Yeah, Rich, dude. Sorry, I never met up with you, man. I tried.
I know.
I apologize.
We will do an entire episode on analyzing the programming. That is coming later this week. But before we got there, we talked about this in the broadcast, and I'm sure you did as well. It's like there were some things that were appeared as curveballs or unique or new tests And what we want to do is like, yes, it might be new if you're seeing it for the first time, but the concepts at which we're programmed. No Closet Today podcast. No, I'm in my dining room. Oh, thanks, Watt Zombie.
Yeah, Watt Zombie.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So what we want to do is we wanted to go through the history of either where these movements came from, how long they've been in the space, why these things are important moving forward, whether they're movements or concepts or things that people probably don't train anymore.
And everyone has to understand this one thing, and I think it's important. All of those steps you were talking about, as we get into all the different movements, just because a movement is new at the games does not mean that it is a new movement or something that is like, we've never thought of this thing before, except for maybe the double rower, but that's a little different. But everything else, generally speaking, they've all been around. And if you know CrossFit doesn't make up movements. CrossFit brings the best of all the movements that are out there to create the best stimulus to get the fittest athlete. And that's how you test. And then you obviously to the test of it. So none of the movements are new. It's just like, oh, that? Ooh,
right.
Oh, that?
Where did that come from?
Where'd that come from?
How did they think of something like that? And what we wanted to do is we wanted to go through all of the movements that were new, which usually it's like, what's the new movement going to be? What's the new piece of equipment? And Boz is like, here, hold my beer.
Yeah.
I mean, before we get into the analyzing of the programming,
thanks, Corey.
Later this week, Corey, thank you, sir. If we're talking history, we cannot overlook the softball throw.
No, you can't.
True. We can acknowledge it and then overlook it.
We might want to overlook some of the throws that were done in the softball throw.
Oh, here's to Corey. You just jogged my memory. Some fun things that a little peek behind the scenes of the original softball throw was actually what Greg Glassman wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He wanted that to be in the games, and this was in 2011. And in 2011, they had the softball throw. It was 3 attempts as far as you can throw it, but it had to be within like a 10-yard width length. So if you were like me in golfing and you shanked one to the left, shanked one to the right, like it doesn't count. It doesn't matter how far it goes. Greg originally wanted that to be 1 throw with the right and 1 throw with the left and take the total distance of the 2.
Which I think is awesome.
Which is awesome, but I'm really glad he didn't do that because we looked bad enough with our, quote, dominant hand. We would have all looked like Jason Khalipa.
Jason Khalipa would have been the best on both arms because they both would have been the left arm.
Who knows? His left arm, by the way, his right arm was, maybe he didn't know he was left-handed, and then he just like launched it. Oh, shit, where did that come from? Oh, that was... This was a... okay, so here's what we're going to do. Just to refresh, we're going to go through some of the events. Actually, and some of the new movements throughout the weekend. And then without trying to screw it up too much, I'm going to basically reach back through history and look at where the concept, the inspiration, or where exactly a lot of these things came from. Before we do, I found this awesome video. Now, you guys have probably seen this before, but this is, hopefully the sound works, but I found this video. This is, I believe, from a high school, La Sierra High. I found out some people, who did we show this to? And like, they went to this high school. It might have been Sean. No, not Sean. Somebody in the media department like knew this high school or went to this high school. But this is in like the early 1960s. And let me see if I can share this. I'm going to let it run for a little bit. So you guys just listen. There may be a little echo just because this is the internet and I haven't quite figured it out. But the title is A School Where Fitness Counts. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to let it run and just listen. This is from like 1962.
Trains the imagination almost as much as it does the muscles. La Sierra staff believes that physical fitness is physical education's first responsibility. the development of muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, agility, and balance are major program objectives. Both boys and girls are exposed to a variety of sports activities. But one of the physical educator's favorite slogans, "Get fit by playing," has been changed to "Get fit to play." Let's listen.
We want our students to experience the pleasures of being in great shape, and we want them to know how to stay that way. The exercise a person gets during his growing years influences his vital capacity, his staying power, and other qualities that will affect his whole future as a human being. If we didn't emphasize physical development and physical fitness, we wouldn't be doing our jobs.
Student response to this demanding program is surprisingly enthusiastic. La Sierra is one of the few schools in America where physical fitness testing is a spectator sport, or where a student's friends will turn out to cheer him on. Students who pass the most difficult tests have their names prominently displayed in the school, and are as highly regarded as star athletes. Teachers attribute
Pause. Also known as the fucking CrossFit Games in 1962. Y'all just take a breath and just soak that in for a second. How cool is that?
Well, they did calisthenics back then, man. That
I
was
know,
what they
but
did. And
just
everybody did it. It wasn't like that. I don't like wearing those shorts, so I'm not gonna do those things.
this was 60 years ago.
That's why my dad was such a badass, dude.
I
Right
know.
there.
60 years ago. And what were they doing? Like partner assisted, front leaning handstand push-ups, one arm monkey bars. There's more video of that. Like, so if you guys, I'll drop this in the link. I'll drop this page in the link for you guys. It's about 13 minutes long. There's actually a whole documentary on this. So this is just 13 minutes worth. Go enjoy that, because they have legless pegboards and parallel bar traverses and cargo nets and push-ups and everything. Look how fit every single human being is in that. And in 1962, they put an emphasis on men and women doing the exact same thing, showcasing how important it is for everybody to be fit. Not just for fitness, but to be fit to play. Be fit for life. This was in the 60s. It's freaking awesome. So before we even get kickstarted on the history of some of these movements, this is something every one of you guys need to go look up. We dropped it in the comments here. We'll probably put it on when we post the audio here. But if you just YouTube the school where fitness counts, there's a lot of different videos on this. And I think there's like an hour-long documentary. They talk to the athletes or the students. These are students. They're not athletes. They're students. And this was the emphasis. And they forced these kids to do this. And the payoff of there was the camaraderie, the self basically governing, the encouragement, yet still showcasing and celebrating those that were the top of their class. The fittest among them got their names written on placards on a leaderboard. This was the CrossFit Games in 1962, and it was a fucking PE class.
Dude, that's the everyday CrossFit gym. That's the whiteboard. That's everything like that. That's all. That is not fitness to be the best CrossFit athlete or fitness to be the best football player or the best swimmer or the best whatever. It's here's an activity. Go and get awesome today. Go play. Go do something you haven't done before. Oh, one-handed monkey bar traverse. Go and try it. Why not? Because if you were a kid, you would try that. All adults would be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I would rather sit over here on the machine and do these lateral shoulder raises or whatever. But that piece. That's why when the pegboard came out the very first time, and I said all the athletes looked freaked out, and I'm like, all their parents have been like, I remember those. We did those. And when everyone failed, they were like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
Why are you using your feet? This is
right. I mean, all you got to do is watch Vision Quest. I mean, come on. It's a movie. Yes. It's an old movie. Sorry.
I remember Vision Quest.
That's fine.
All right. So that's a little taste of the direction that we're going. Something old is now something new. It's always been there. And CrossFit will tell you itself is like, we are not in reinventing the wheel.
No.
But CrossFit has done a great job as defining it, putting actual definitions to things of what is fitness. Those types of things allow us to actually take a scientific and really black box approach, just means your own personal laboratory, into expanding those boundaries.
You know what's crazy is they did what we do now, and they
Oh,
didn't have any,
look
that's
at
cool.
that. I'm going to hit up Ken right now.
That's cool.
I'm going to hit up
They
established in 1962.
they didn't have any, that was the way they did it. There wasn't a mission statement or a definition of fitness that wasn't there at that time. They just moved the whole body. The body moved. It wasn't until like all the bodybuilding stuff came in where it was all single muscle, single joint, all about aesthetics, not about practicality, functionality.
Yeah.
So crazy.
All right. So let's start with the first really big wrinkle, and that was basically the gymnastics ascending ladder that they had on, what was this? This really ended up being the second event on day number 1. And the first one that really got people for a loop was which one do you want to go with? Pirouette or let's start with the jump rope.
Yeah.
Single unders, double unders, and then the crossover. In the film, every second counts. There's an athlete named Matt Mursky. And to this day, I would argue that Matt Mursky is still one of the greatest athletes to ever compete at the CrossFit Games. Just as far as like an athlete. And in this film is him with a jump rope doing single unders, double under crossovers, and just absolutely crushing it. It's always been there. It's not gimmicky because you can't do it.
Any wrestler, any boxer, any footwork speed type of athlete did these ropes long time ago. Long time, like that to me. Like when I saw the crossover, I was like, that doesn't seem like an upscale to me. That seems like a downscale to me. Because I did that when wrestling. That's what we did. Because you're jumping rope for minutes on end. And you get bored just doing jumps and doubles. So you like do all the crossover stuff and like the whips to the side, all the Buddy Lee stuff, you see him doing right there.
In college, this is all we did. We did double unders in college. We did crossovers. I could do all that.
Yeah, totally.
It really is. It's a skill we learned in elementary school. I said this on the broadcast. You remember those like dare jump rope teams, against
totally. Yeah.
I was so bad I could never make it. Yeah, exactly. We did all of these things as kids.
Well, I will say that we saw some of the greatest athletes on the planet jumping the single unders like it was a third grade recess.
Well, I think how crazy that is, right? And it's wild to think that the fittest woman in history, the best CrossFit athlete of all time, got derailed by a single under.
Well, and when we saw that happen with Rich too, when Rich was the guy, and they had that jump rope seminar, and he's messing up, and Sarah Sigmund's daughter can't do more than like 10 singles in a row, and I love the fact that they made that it had to be unbroken because now it put pressure on people, and they didn't know how to race something that they haven't practiced that is an easy skill. It's a basic skill, and they just wanted to over race it.
I agree. And this is a quote as we get into this is we hearken is like, back to the basics, back to the basics, back to the basics. And we're not saying that as like, you should have known this. That's not what we're saying. We're saying it's always been there. And so when we look back on this, it's to give Boz even more credit for, I think, the amazing job that he did. We'll dive into the details later this week, but that's what this is. This isn't the See I Told You So. This is let's not forget, right? Um, a quote I like to oversee with this is from Greg Glassman. This is when he, started this whole thing. He says, stick to the basics. And when you feel you've mastered them, it's time to start all over again. Begin anew, again with the basics, this time paying closer attention. And I think after this CrossFit Games, that is exactly where I think people need to go. Do you want to get better at handstand push-ups? Does that mean you should be doing 1,000 a day? Does that mean you should be doing deficit? Does that mean you should be doing weighted with a weight vest? Does it mean you should be facing a wall? No, it means you should be getting better at the technical aspect of what a handstand push-up is. We think volume, 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 weight, weight, weight. Like harder, harder, harder. It's like, no. How do we get better?
Position.
Position,
Core.
Exactly. How do I get better at the snatch? It's like, I don't know. If you've hit a rut and you've been in a plateau for 2 years, when was the last time you just went with a coach in a PVC pipe or an empty barbell and just like redid it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think this games really did a good job of exposing, was the importance and the value of the basics. Now, there was a lot of complicated things in there, but I like that. All right, so there's the jump rope one, as some people didn't like. Here's a fun one. We've all seen this come up. Let me see. This little guy. Everybody watching?
This is an L-sit to straddle press to handstand. Pseudo pike. Same thing.
That's a little dorky Boz.
Just for Pat. Just for Pat.
All right. Oh, interesting. He was even doing it. Now, I will say is like Boz has a background in training that, but that's where
Your
it
new
comes
home
from.
needs more than
Whoa.
just paint.
Sorry.
It needs the power of Certipro painters. The power of
I thought that was me. I'm like, what did I hit?
I know.
Pro.
I'm sorry.
Project at
Stop.
Certipro.com.
Stop screaming into our. Oh my goodness. Sorry, everyone. Where did the L-sit thing come from? There. Oh, wait. By the way, shout out to J.R. Howell. That did a great job reading through the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Like his guesses that he had coming in prior to the games, he did a great job. He did a really good job. It was fun watching those come through and just like, that's a good guess.
Totally, huh?
He did a good job. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, can't answer that question. Can't answer that question. But the press to handstand, is that high skilled? Yes, but it actually has more of your ability to be, your core stability and strength, as well as mobility, are the biggest factors keeping people out of that position. It's a highly technical movement, but it's not over these athletes' skis to be possible. The problem is nobody got a chance to get there.
Yeah, true. Okay, so that video that you showed was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking back and I found some journal articles about press to handstand on the parallettes back in 2006.
Yes. Oh, let me get that one. I looked at
So
that
it's a whole series. I think it's like a 5-part series or a
Yes.
3-part series, something like that. Parallel training.
So the biggest one I got from that, did you read the challenge that Glassman threw out when that article first came out?
Which one?
This was the early days, like you were saying. But it was starting from the floor, a press to a handstand into a unbroken 100-foot handstand walk.
Oh, that was on the trophy award thing that they had for all the different movements.
The article came out Jan 1. Let's see if I can pull this up. But the article came out Jan 1, and he put a challenge out there for anybody if they could press to a handstand and walk 100 feet unbroken. And they had the whole year to do it. Let's see if I can find this thing. But with that being said, is that this is one of those things, is like, hey, this is where it came from. This is the inspiration to it.
It's always been there.
It's always been there.
Yeah.
Now we're not using the it's like, oh, you should have known. It's like, who had any idea that was coming?
Right.
Right? I mean, like we're all doing a shot in the dark. Some of us were right. I mean, shoot, we were right about 3 or 4 of the events.
Yeah.
Called Bird
Dang.
and Run, Sandbag. We almost guessed the entire swim event. Oh, Paper Street, you don't have to give us anything. You're the one that hosted our freaking OG straw hat.
Gabe, you're so cool, man.
Thanks, bro.
I appreciate that, dude.
Awesome. You guys are doing the right thing. Speaking of, before we even get any further, thank you to everybody that showed up to the OG party.
Oh, the OG party was awesome. It was
Craig
so fun.
Howard, Diablo CrossFit, O2. You guys are so cool. Obviously, Sherpa Works and Ken. The Medeiros family all rolled in.
Yeah.
All of them.
It was cool. It was so cool.
Mom, dad, sisters, grandparents, like everybody rolled up. And you know what it felt like? It felt like an old school college house party.
Yeah.
We're all in the backyard. There's a couple kegs just drinking out of red Solo cups.
Yep.
And it was really, really cool. I really thank you guys all for coming up for there. That was freaking awesome. Oh, let's see. Okay, I found the article. January 1, 2004, Bill. This is the one that I found. Let me share this with you guys. It's so you guys, really, everyone watching, just go to the CrossFit Journal right now. It is a wealth of information. A wealth of information. You see that?
Yeah.
Jan 1, 2004. It's simply just called Handstands. And he has a great line in here that I stole. Handstand holds, handstand walks, pressing to handstand. He calls all that hand balancing, so it's its own category. It involves just being inverted. He says there are countless successful protocols for increasing shoulder strength and balance, but training the handstand and presses to the handstand improves proprioception and core strength in ways other protocols cannot. Meaning these things are the root of basically improving those two things in other accessory works and bands and inverted fucking kettlebell presses on one knee while twisting your band behind your back. Like, or you can just kick up into a handstand and try to hold that as long as you can. But he has all these things, how to press to a handstand from the floor, how to kick up into a handstand. And here it is. We are asking each of you to resolve to pressing to a handstand and then hand walking 100 feet within the end of the year in 2004. Towards this end, we are offering 3 simple floor drills that we want to include as warm-up for every non-pressing workout as a cool down for pressing workouts. So not only does he have this challenge, there's all of these different drills and techniques and kick-ups. This was in 2004. So cool. Little history lesson.
Who's the model?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Kind of looks Josh Everett. Oh, Lift, or maybe Joe Alexander.
Yeah, it does.
That might be Joe Alexander.
Oh, you're right. That's not Josh.
No, it's not Josh. His calves are too small. Fuck it. I'll throw this article in there. Why make you guys search?
Man, if you guys don't have the journal, man, I remember when that thing came out, I would print it out every single time it came out on email. Here's the new journal every month that I printed out, and I had a binder full of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were, I mean,
this even shows how to dismount. Bailout method 2, bailout method 3.
Amazing.
And then at the end, it has all of these other articles that you can rings, methods, ideas, curiosities / history, hand balancing, feats of body weight strength, hand balancing part 2, presses and pirouettes. Oh, let me just pull that shit up.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let me pull that shit up.
Hand balancing part 4, putting it all together. the American Gymnast Parallel Training Guide. It's a treasure trove. So for all you coaches out there and athletes that just competed or want to compete, this isn't like start getting gimmicky or start getting out. Like, this is the basics. The thing I love that Boz had said is, he said, we are so close to what elite lifters can do. We are so close to what elite runners can do to a certain extent, right? Within a percentage degree of our top athletes and their, generalists.
We're running to about 80% of everything. Is kind of that.
We are like 10% in the world of gymnastics. We really are. We're not even close. And Boz has mentioned this.
Yeah.
We are so far away there. Why? Because it's freaking hard.
Because you talk to a gymnast about ring muscle ups, and they go, "What is that?" Mm-hmm. That's just how they start. That's getting to the blocks on the race. Yeah. Just get up on top of the ring. That's it. That's your biggest gymnastic movement is ring muscle ups. That's just and it's a trip. It's weird.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really awesome. Thank you, Belinda. Those of you guys that saw the OG hats, the cult shirt that Bill is wearing, the cult hats that we have, all of this is coming out soon. That logo is sick.
It's so
Some
sick.
people like that more than the OG one.
Dude, I got hit up. I was wearing the hat on that post, and everyone's like, I need that hat. I need that hat. I need that hat. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to be part of the, it's, I mean, OG is like, yes, I'm OG, but this is like team. You know what I mean? Yeah. The other one's like, I am OG. This is our team logo, our team name right here. It's funny. It's really cool.
As a way to show how far away we are in the world of gymnastics, take a strict ring muscle up, which someone would consider the ultimate ring test in the pulling movement for CrossFitters. That's how gymnasts get on top of the rings before the routine starts. It'd be like,
that's a 3, 2, 1.
2 really fast steps today. It's like, so you ran.
Yeah. I ran to the starting block. I sprinted to the start.
Yes.
And then we worked out. And then we raced.
And so, okay, let's tailor this back a little bit. If I wanted to get a ring muscle up, a strict one, what are the things that I'll have to do? Well, you'll have to improve your grip strength, being able to get a false position. You'll have to increase your pulling strength. Okay. You'll have to increase your mobility to get in deep dip positions with the shoulder girdle just to pass into a deep ring dip. And then when you do all of those things, think about the physical adaptations you're going to get just by trying to learn how to do it, let alone train them more often than not.
Yeah, all the strength that you build through those pieces, everyone tries to kip and swing and have momentum to get through the pieces where you need the strength, at least on the gymnastics side, always.
And more often than not, people won't do the little details in gymnastics because they are technically challenging. They are physically demanding to people because they don't have the technique. I was talking to Dave Durante. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Like a U.S. American gymnast.
He's our gymnast.
Him and Carl Paoli, right? Those are our gymnast dudes. I was talking to him during the games, and he's like, all of this is just super technical. None of this is actually physically difficult to do, but we're so technically unsound, it's damn near impossible, which makes him look too hard. It's like, yes, a doubled under crossover looks so hard and stupid when you don't have the little whip technique in order to do it. It's not physically challenging. It's no more different than when we learned double unders when that first started coming in 2009 finale, when we were doing like 30 135-pound thrusters, and then we equated that difficulty to 30 double unders. Right? But it looked like that in 2009. And so these things are technically challenging, and nobody likes technically challenging because it's so frustrating. Because when it's technically,
they're impatient, man. They're impatient.
Exactly. When it's physically difficult, they like that struggle, and they can accept the fact that they can't do it because it's too heavy, it's too fast, it's too far, it's too many. They can accept that, and they'll just go more and more and more and more and more. When it's technically difficult, they hate it because it doesn't feel physically challenging. And when you have to train something, they like it. When you have to practice, people hate it.
Well, it's easy to increase weight on movements. I mean, that's a very easy thing to do, but a technical movement, you go from being able to do one thing and then absolutely not being able to do. And you're right, that is a very OG
Oh, I
infidel
have
move.
by the way, I have a shirt idea with that.
Okay, cool.
I'll say.
Double unders are, so someone just said double unders were hard to learn, and they are hard to learn. The problem
Yes.
is, just like, and I see this is what I see even on the swimming. I was really excited to see everybody have to do the swim. That was really cool. A lot of those technical movements, and swimming is a technical movement. It's all about efficiency. You can't do more yardage or try to do more double unders if you don't know how to swim right. It's like not being able to snatch it all and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this really intensive snatch workout, go super heavy, go high volume. I can't move at all. So I'm really not doing a snatch. The bars is sort of ending up overhead somehow. And it's like, yeah, I just did this great snatch workout. It's like, no, you didn't. You completely botched that whole thing. I mean, it's so great that we have, Chris doing all of like the endurance stuff, and he's able to come on all the running elements when you guys do the games, and being able to talk all those things. But everyone they see the aerobic capacity, like for running, for cycling, for swimming. But if you can't do the movement, you can't do the workout.
Right.
I mean, I'm working with my girlfriend right now. Like she wants to become a better swimmer.
Nice.
And so one of the things, she's so fired up on it. It's awesome.
Probably good. You guys spend so much time on the water.
I know. I know. It's what's crazy is that, I mean, as any athletic type person, it's like she just wants to get in and get going. But if you can't swim very well, you're not going to be able to do that. So let's learn some stroke. Let's try to figure out where your body's in the water. It's not about how fast your hands go. It's how much water you're pulling. How are you pushing against the water? Or how streamlined are you? All of these little things. And when you get someone who can at least help you with those things, whether it's double unders or muscle ups or whatever, there's a massive increase in confidence, because it's like, wow, it's like when you hit the golf ball or when you hit a snatch for the first time and it feels really, really good. There's that perfect feeling, and you're like swimming, you come down the end, you're like, well, I did that whole lap and I'm not tired at all. I didn't feel like I did any work. And it's like, let's get that before we start doing sets at all. That's
yeah,
it's the same thing. People just say they have to be more patient. Let yourself have little steps rather than trying to take these big poundage jumps that you're so used to doing the deadlift and everything else.
Yeah. Let's see. How difficult is it to teach?
Not hard.
No, it's just practice. And people hate practice because it's not hard to do. And it's annoying to them. Practice meaning that learning how to do a double under takes as much practice as learning how to throw a dart onto a dartboard into the center. You just have to start throwing darts. And you're going to miss, and you're going to hit all over the place. And the more practice you do, not the more back squat sets you do, the more cardio sessions you do, the more Metcons you do in a day, none of those are going to get you better at skills without practice.
Well, and again, even with that, it's not about just a bazillion reps, because if you're jumping wrong or you're throwing the dart wrong, or if there's a better way to do it, you want to practice better positioning, practice better form and technique, practice all that so that you can do more. And that's what I meant about like the swimming and the running and everything else. If you are a bad swimmer, doing lots of sets is not going to make you a better swimmer. You're going to get a great workout.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel super tired because a bad swimmer works out way harder than any good swimmer.
Yeah, that's nice about learning how to swim. Like you're going to get amazing workouts while just figuring it out.
Totally. But, but the thing is like, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you go faster just because you're in the water going back and forth. You have to do it correctly. Just like on double ends, if you're bouncing all over the place, sure, you might get some. You might get, a good amount of them, but that's not going to be that's not how you will be better at doing double unders. You got to practice the preciseness of those movements and the technical elements of those movements. Otherwise, you will hit a ceiling and you will get frustrated because you will never be able to do better than that.
This is a good question.
Patience. That's it. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, come on.
We'll get to the swimming again.
She's with me. She's got lots of patience. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. Two boys, three.
She's my mermaid.
We'll call it
My
3
mermaid
boys.
right there. Yeah.
3 boys. You have to worry with patience. All right. So I have pulled up here is Elizabeth Elevated. First of all, when this is announced, I'm like, God, you already know this is my least favorite benchmark workout because it's awful. It hurts so bad. But we brought out the parallel bars, not the parallel bars, the parallel bars. And it's like, oh, another weird skill. And I was like, oh, hold on. And you sent this to me?
Yeah.
Right? You sent this to me. Let me pull this up. Parallel bars. It was funny. We were talking to Annie Sakamoto. We're in the very first CrossFit gym. Oddly enough, it was just called CrossFit, not CrossFit anything.
Hey, what CrossFit gym was that? Oh, CrossFit.
It was just called CrossFit. And something that Greg Glassman had always said is he felt like every CrossFit gym should have parallel bars in them. There's so many different things you can do, from hangs to holds to walking. And what one of the tests was, and this is something that Jason Kalipa made up, no one else, because I got sent some things about someone, and I was like, that's not even it. It's kind of taking credit. Is this thing called the parallel bar man test.
We have some new toys called parallel bars. I just got them in, and we created something called man test for them. The man test consists of 5 full range of motion dips, all the way down, all the way up. From here, you then walk forward, pass the metal bars, give 5 again, okay? You then walk back. Boom, 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 boom. Once you get here, you do 4, and so on until you get down to 1. Sorry for the tip in the beginning, I like it. So far, the record at the gym, myself and one other individual, has gotten down to 2 here and started the walk.
All right. There you go.
That's so fun, dude. Man, I love that one too. We would do that one at the fire station. That was fun.
Yeah. And that was the test. Parallel bars in the gym, wooden ones like that, or that they have at the games, they're plastic. But ones that have give in the middle, they are supposed to, for a reason. It's called stability.
Yeah.
Just like you have on rings. But this is not the first time we have ever had this concept of traversing parallel bars into dips off the parallel bars. And what I loved is that when they were doing this event, everyone's like, oh, the volume, 63 squat cleans. I'm used to 45, or I'm used to power cleans because I do it wrong. Or ring dips. And the one thing that nobody gave any credit for was the traverse. The traverse was the hardest part of that workout. That's the part that screwed up everyone.
Yeah.
And they just didn't think about it. They're like, oh, my dips are failing. This is getting so hard. It's so many dips. I'm like, no, it's the traverse. Every rep in here in this rep scheme is getting less. Every one, except one, the traverse. The traverse stayed the same the whole time. And if you broke, you got more. The traverse is the one thing that penalized you the entire time. Yeah, I didn't want to say that. They're squat cleans, fuckers.
No one thought about the fact that when you do a traverse, you have all your weight on one hand. So you have to stabilize through the wrist, through the elbow, through the shoulder with one hand. I mean, every single step that you go across. So any buckle, you're coming down. I mean, the dips, all the dip, it's not that the dip is the hard part. The dip is what takes the power out of your traverse. It takes the stability out of your traverse. So even though, yes, the number of the dips is going down, you have fatigue that's built in, but the dip is not the hard part. It's the traverse, and the dip just kind of takes the guts out of of that power to get across. I loved it. It was so fun. I was so jealous when I saw that.
So I tried the round of 21, in the warm-up area before they got rid of them because the athletes couldn't touch them.
Yeah.
They didn't have a chance to. And so I tried the round of 21. So traverse 7, dropped, turn around, traverse 7, traverse 7. And I went 7, 7, 5, and ran back around and had to do 2. And I barely got to the end of the parallel bars to do my 2 dips. I just wanted to see what fatigue would be. And the thing that did was it took away my stability and strength to lock my arms out.
Yep.
So the part that I'm failing on the dip anyway was getting smoked just to get back to fail some more dips. And yes, it was 15 total traverses. I think the rounding up, it was about 150 feet in total of traversing on the parallel bars. 150 feet. Could you imagine a parallel bar that was, 50 yards long, half the length of a football field? That's how far they walked. And no one gave it any respect.
No.
They're like, 63 squat cleans. That sounds so hard. It's like, no, it's not. Not for these guys.
Dude, they do
remember the last
thousands
time-
of squat cleans. Like, that's nothing.
The last time they touched a 135 and 95-pound barbell for squat cleans, who knows?
Right.
63 dips off a straight bar, which is easier than ring dips.
Yep.
How about a 150-foot or a 50-yard parallel bar traverse? Which one of those sounds like the hardest of the 3? And no one gave it any credit until they started failing. And they're like, oh, shit, what's happening to my body? I was like, the traverses. That's what's happening to your body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's the next one on the list that we get to talk about? Sprint jerks, pig flips, jerry can. The jerry bag.
Oh,
The jerry bag. Pause for a history lesson. You thought that was hard? Try metal cans filled with water and lead shot. 2011 was the first time we had the jerry can carry. It was at the Rogue Invitational last year. But the distance to which they had the carry of 200 meters was substantial, but sneaky easy relative to how it would felt and what the repercussions were going to be once they got to the Husafeld back.
Yeah, you blow your grip out, which makes us on the Husfeld bag. All you have is your arms.
That's it.
That's it. You lose your hooks, man.
Not to mention the 20 hands they had to do before the run.
Right. You have I have no hands left. There are no forearms. There is zero grip. Yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, that's where the jerry can carry came. Now
I remember when they did that.
Games, yeah, that was awesome. And at the games that year, it was part of the skills test too.
That's right.
Where it was a max weighted pull up.
Max weighted pull up, L sit for time.
I think that was skills 1. Oh, I was separating. I think skills 1 was L sit for time was in there. Handstand walk.
That's right.
And was it softball throw? Was that part of it? That was part of one of the skills, right? That wasn't an isolated event.
Yeah.
And then the second one was weighted max pull up, snatch, and then the jerry can carry. And it was 60 seconds as far as you could get without breaking.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. So yeah.
At least I didn't get to see the individuals on theirs, but at least on the age group one, like the bag, the Jerry Sandbag, I guess that's what they're calling it. Man, I watched those Jerry cans when they did that, and I was like, I will bust my shins on these things, these square edges. Those were not when Rogue was first starting to make a lot of that equipment, like they made all the cool stuff, but they like the pieces of equipment were not forgiving.
No.
Like you remember the first worm that they made? The worm with like the rope in between?
I have teammates that have a daily reminder when they look in the mirror with their cauliflower here.
Wounds, the wounds from those pieces
Broken
of equipment.
fingers, bloody shoulders and ears, and
Oh man.
dude, this event was so cool. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that. We just want to go to a little history lesson this time.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the Capitol. Let's see. Switch back over. GC sit-ups, front rack, walking lunge. Nope. Echo bike press. And in the block handstand. Now, this will take a little bit of time. So I pulled this up. I had mentioned this. Earlier on the broadcast about these handstand push-ups. And once again, we go to the CrossFit Journal. And there's a simple article called Handstand Push-Up Progression 1, Handstand Push-Up Progression 2. Let's see if I can find this. Where are you? Oh, I think I moved it. Patience, everyone. Like I'm talking to my son.
There's that word again, patience. Where's that? There's that word again.
Okay, here we go. So this is Carl. Everybody see this?
So we see a lot of kick up against the wall, back against the wall, which is totally legit. But in order to start practicing proper handstand positions, what we want to do is we want to walk up the wall. You probably see this a lot. Jeff Tucker does it all the time, and it's a great drill to actually get you going. So what we're talking about here is push-up position, hands to the wall, feet to the wall, start walking yourself up. This is just a little walk up. Notice I didn't even walk myself fully, but what we're looking for is, can I push through the shoulder, walk my hands all the way in, or maybe half a foot away from the wall, have my toes against the wall, and then hold a nice hollow body position. Can I have the demo girl come in?
All right. At the very start, this is the article. This was back in 2010, 2011, where this video was. This was actually shot in CrossFit Austin. I have a buddy in here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, I sent him a screenshot. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I forgot you were at this. I remember when you went to this thing. And this was it was a CrossFit Gymnastics seminar in Austin, Texas. And I believe it was CrossFit Austin. And my buddy Noel Rothman and Wes Kimball were there. There's some sick fit shirts in here, which this is how old this is.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing he says? With your back to the wall is legit. But if you want to really see what it is, you have to get inverted facing the wall and get into what? Good positions. And in this, the article, I'll do the same thing I've been doing. I'll drop this. It's called Handstand Push-Up Progression with Carl Paoli, part 1 and part 2. Not how to do inverted handstand walk to presses with your belly facing the wall. It's literally where they start when they try to teach you how to do a handstand push-up. And the first thing you need to learn as an athlete is proper technique, form, body position, and order of execution as far as how you do a handstand push-up. And if you don't do these things, that movement will be either extremely hard at best or impossible for most. And that's part 1, which is great. Let me see if I can find part 2. Well, I know where part 2 is, but I had trouble finding
Well, what's hard is that we see so many athletes that can do all those movements incorrectly. Mm-hmm. They just strong enough to do it, and they make themselves do it. And so a lot of lesser athletes or aspiring to be those athletes out there type athletes see, well, they're totally arched and they do it just fine. Why couldn't I do that? They do that, and if we are wanting to perform like a gymnast, like a weightlifter, like a swimmer, like a runner, like a whichever, we need to try to emulate what they do, not emulate shitty movement just to go fast.
Yeah. And this is to Brandon's point. It's like, well, when I faced the wall and arched, the press allowed me to feel like an inclined bench. Great. You were strong enough to do it. It does not mean you did it right. And you doing it incorrectly won't translate to other things. And it does. Yes, you can arch your back and recruit your chest and make it a bench press or an inverted one. But it's not going to translate to handstand walks.
Nope.
It's not going to translate to freestanding handstand push-ups. That's the point. That's the whole point. being able to do something does not mean you know how to do it. It just means you are strong enough. I've seen people who can do ring muscle ups in the most wrong way and think they've got it. It's like, yeah, you got 1, maybe 3, but what happens when we're trying to do 30 in a row?
Yeah.
That technique is not there to sustain the effort. So, this is part 2. I'm trying to find the part.
This is what's going to happen. We're going to go up into the handstand. We're going to load our shoulders up. Our belly's going to be tight, and we're going to initiate the handstand push-up the same way we did with our push-ups. Shoulder goes forward first, then the rest of the body. This is the same thing as squatting. Belly is tight, butt's tight, hips go first, then the rest comes. Can you guys see that? It's the same movement. The shoulder is the hip, the elbow is the knee, and the wrist is the ankle. Same thing. If I initiate elbows and then the head straight down, now I'm losing all kinds of traction in my main power generator, and I'm just doing an elbow extension, which apparently we don't like that much because it just doesn't make us fitter, right? So, push-up position, watch yourself up. She's a superstar, feet go first, gets her shoulders in good position. Now, even closer to the wall if you can with your hands. Good. Hands a little bit closer together. Even closer. So this is a pretty hard handstand push-up right here. I'm going to grab her tight. You're going to initiate shoulders forward first. Now head comes down to the mat. Slowly lower yourself down. Now hold that position. Good. Now do this. Go ahead and add tension by squeezing the elbows in, belly tight, and drive through your belly like the push-up. Belly tight. Good. And then you come back up, and now you walk yourself out. Good job. Nice work. You're a superstar.
Interesting. Oh, this is so fun. So fun. Yes, can you arch your back and press up? Sure you can. But how do you do it the right way?
Well, and again, you have to think about, all right, the CrossFit Games is not CrossFit, the fitness program, or the fitness methodology. It is racing for speed. So if I'm racing, I don't really care what I'm looking like to get from here to there as long as I get there before you.
Mm-hmm.
If I am working with people in the gym, my job is I want to keep them as members. And the way I'll keep them as members is, 1, they are improving, but 2, they aren't getting hurt doing dumb stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is why it's important to understand. I mean, just like we were talking about the handstand push-ups, classic, go down to I have a lot of women when they come in and they do push-ups, they do the push-ups like this with their elbows way out to the side. They can do them, but it's like, I'm looking at their shoulders and it just makes me cringe because they're going to blow their shoulders out or do some sort of damage. So you get them to do the right thing and then they can't do it and they get pissed. Like, yeah, but I can't. I could do 10 that way. I can't do any this way. And I'm like, I know that, but let's keep going this way. Like if it's a race and there's money on the line, do whatever the hell you need to do. Like I get it, but like all we are doing today is we're working out. We're training. We're not competing. We're training. So in that realm of training, get the right movements down. You know, putting your name first on the leaderboard, cool, but you aren't going to get anything out of that.
Yes.
So do the right movements.
And I like that as like that disassociation that we're making. We're going through the history of where these movements came from. And if you want to get better at them, we're giving you a wealth of information that's already been out there. And I've said this in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the battle of the CrossFit Games, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm going full brain.
Racing. I don't care. I'll do whatever. I'll break this arm off to win. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying. Is like nobody's worried about perfect. There's rarely ever style points when it comes to the CrossFit Games, if ever.
Right.
But if you are having plateaus in, say, your handstand push-up progressions, there are things in there from 2004 to 2010 and everywhere in between on the CrossFit Journal of things you may have never seen before about where these things came from. It's like, I do so many handstand push-ups. I do them 3 days a week and I can't get any better. I was like, have you done one facing the wall with a good body position? No, I haven't. And I can't do that. Why? Because every time you try your handstand push-ups of 3 times a week with too much volume, you probably throw your chin back, arch the shit out of your back and spine, and lose all core stability and power from your hands to your shoulders to the rest of your body.
Just
Watt
like your
Zombie, you're the
legs.
best, bro. Appreciate that. Get a weekly, through there. Hey,
That would be crazy, huh?
actually, fuck, why don't we do that?
That would be super fun.
Journal article of the week.
Dude, I love the journal.
Watt Zombie, look at you.
Before Greg left, we were all on. He had a bunch of us on some
You
Zoom
know-
call, and he's like, what should we do? What can we do better? And I'm like, dude, bring the journal back.
Yeah.
Repost all the old videos, how to make equipment, how to do these things, how the histories, the old progressions, because we've gone so far the other way on movements and volume and capacity that we forgot all the virtuosity type stuff. We don't have any of that.
So there is I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the journal. It's like 18 to 22 journal articles, like the journal marathon or the journal. I got to look it up, but it's a series of journal articles that someone has curated as some of the best ones in there. And there's 18 or 22 of them. And I think I'll just go through them in order and just go in like, I think that would be cool. An episode.
That would be super cool. Yeah.
I know it's out there. I can't remember what it is, but someone hit me up. Throw it in there. This is great. I know. Worm logs. Yes. All right, but that's the Echo Press. Let's see, as we continue on this journey into the past to better our future. The swim. I can't wait to talk to you about this. I said this on the broadcast. How good has everyone got at swimming?
Thank goodness, dude.
Wasn't it awesome?
Thank goodness.
I was like, you guys all look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Most
finally.
of you.
Finally. Jeez.
Shit, the worst one out there was Boz. Did you see his did you see his story?
No.
He was like full toddler. He jumped in, plugged his nose, and then just kept his head up the whole way across the pool. It was adorable. But everybody looks so good. I mean, we've been shitting on him for a decade.
Totally. I know.
And it looked so good. Congratulations to everyone. You have been working on it. It's awesome. Here's the one thing I want us to look at. This is, it was on .com a lot, good leading in. I think this is, hold on, let me make sure I got the right one. No, that's the med ball one. That's what I want. This is when I have a problem. If we want to get better at swimming, we need to start programming better swim workouts on .com. This is great. I'll cycle through really quick. Let's see. Okay, this is a swim one they had earlier. 10 rounds for time, 100-yard swim, minute rest. Okay, 5 rounds for time, 200, 2-minute rest. I was like, oh, that's original. So you just doubled everything.
Right.
Way to really, really go out there, guys. And then 5 rounds for time. Swim 100 yards, 30 push-ups. That sounds actually a great, fun time. And then 20 rounds for time. 50-yard swim, 30-second rest. I'm like, cool. Now we're just like, what? The same distance, just dividing shit and rest is like how unoriginal we get. And then all of a sudden, here it comes again. 10 rounds, 100-meter swim, rest, 1,000-meter for time, 5 rounds, 200, 30 push-ups, swim test again. Like that part got annoying. If you're going to let's talk about variance.
Okay, well,
massive lack of variance. Now, this is the course of 5 years. Let me also give them.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
All right, well, let's go
I'll
through
tell
it.
you why I think it was. There's
Why?
no swimmers in headquarters that are doing that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, this is just basic generic stuff they've been retreading. Let's see,
Totally.
22. And then let me go to the bottom here, which is the same. They posted the same workout again in 2017. They posted the same workout again in 2016, 2016, 2015. Same workout again. 30, for the handstand push-ups, 2015. Jesus, guys.
Okay,
Just let me do it. 2014, 5 rounds for time, 200-meter run, swim, 2-minute rest. God bless. No wonder we suck at swimming.
Well, yeah, but we got to be able to step out of the .com though as well. Okay,
Yeah,
just
but I mean, look
okay.
at .com.
Check this out. So we have events. You just talk about like ring muscle ups and how do you get better at pull ups and ring muscle ups. You got to have the grip strength, right? How do you get better at that? We got to be able to hang on the rings. We have a couple of the workouts that are hanging for time. Can you do the 8-minute hang? And there was the rogue hang. And if you're talking swimming, what is the thing that you need to be able to do in swimming that's kind of your baseline that allow you to get to the technique part? Holding your breath. So on there, if they want to do something that like drawn would be very similar, but would be very different, would be 25 meters holding your breath underwater swims with whatever 2 minute. I mean, it's something like that where you're holding your breath. I do that with a lot of times when I'm working with. No, I mean, I'm not gonna say there's a liability on anything, but it's like what you're learning is you're learning streamline, you're learning breath control, you learn to stay relaxed when you're underwater. Because if you are panicking about breathing, you're not going to be able to worry about any of the swimming technique you're trying to do. You're just worried about getting your head above the water and breathing. So if you can learn to control that, that helps. But I love with a lot of athletes that I work with, I mean, you put the sets in there and you can do the different things and stroke drills and all that. But I love doing holding your breath or underwater sets as something different as a variance, but then two, as allowing you to build. It's the base foundation. If you can't hold your breath, you're not going to swim very well. Not for very long anyway, once your heart rate goes up.
Yeah. I like the test. We'll talk about the test later, but just showing that swimming has been on there, but it's not changing, and that does need to change. Mark Phillips, the theme seemed to be, can't do this at home this year. Good.
Yes,
it's
that's what it's supposed to be,
bro.
You shouldn't be able to train any of these things.
Yeah, you got to earn these freaking workouts. That's the best part about going to the games. That's like that's the grandeur of being a CrossFit Games athlete. No one's done this test before. And you shouldn't be able to replicate this at home because you didn't earn it. Sorry.
Right.
Well, why doesn't Dak Prescott come to my house and throw me passes in the backyard? Because he didn't make the NFL, bro. That's why. I'm not taking it out on you, Mark. I'm just throwing it out there for people that don't like I'll try. This is not towards you, Mark. All love and respect. But the people that are out there is like, oh, they don't have the at-home workouts anymore. It's like, good.
I can't remember who was it. Maybe it was Soccer Mom said they wished it was harder. I
for what?
Thought it was the swim event should have been harder. I think it was great where it was.
Let's touch on that on the analyzing.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think that it was a fun event to see. And I mean, as far as how hard, I think it was good. I think it was good.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Wait, Mark, are you serious? You went to MSU with Dak Prescott? If you did, that's awesome. You're ruining my analogy. Actually, Dak Prescott does come to my backyard and throws passes to me. But yeah, we'll talk about the swim itself and that. Dude, that's so awesome, Mark. I love Dak Prescott. I'm so glad he's my quarterback. I don't care what people say. Haters. Fuck the haters. Okay. We're getting there, guys. What else we got? Hat trick. Oh, yes, this one. The wall ball shots. I want to do this one.
Of course, you just got wall balls in it.
Yeah. Oh, I just mean it looks fun. It also has 100-pound dumbbell snatches, which I am not good at.
Yeah.
Sprinting. But the question was like, the height, where did that come from? So a short story from Boz that we got in the trailer was, we were talking about Boz's history. We talked about Carl Paoli. Well, guess who was one of the original coaches at San Francisco CrossFit? Was Carl Paoli with Adrian Bosman, with Kelly Starrett, with Diane Fu. If you guys don't know that name. No, Renata, I have not done Kalsu yet. I said before I turned 40. I'm not 40 yet. Birthday's in November. The wall ball height. He talked about Curtis Bowler with Rainier CrossFit. I can't remember CrossFit Rainier. It's one of the first affiliates ever. And in his gym, there was trusses in his gym, and the cross beam above him was 12 feet high, and they used to do workouts for fun using that target with a 20 or 14-pound ball. And that's where it came from.
Do with what you got.
Yeah. And so that's where the 12 and 11 feet came from. Also, this is what JR sent me. So I am not taking credit for any of this. In May of 2022, there was this workout, 5 rounds for time, 20 wall ball shots, 10 med ball weighted pull-ups. The wall ball weight was 20 pounds and 14 pounds, and the target height was 12 and 11. And if you guys just want, if you see something on .com that goes, that looks interesting, that's a weird height, that's a weird weight for DT, that seems pretty heavy, write it down. Write it down. Maybe you'll see something later down the road. Later down the road. What is this? Janelle. Say the CrossFit chats. Yeah, don't go in the CrossFit chats during the live feed, guys. It is a cesspool.
Toxic.
It's just a cesspool. Not like you guys in this YouTube chat. You guys are the freaking best. Freaking best. But history lesson. Scour.com. If anything seems out of the norm, like, I don't know, if they go 10-foot height for both male and female, write that down. That is not the norm yet. I hope it is. But they made athletes do that this year in the quarterfinals, which was so great. So great. All right, where are we at? Getting there. Wall ball height, sandbag to shoulder. So the sandbag to shoulder, this goes back to an old journal article, and this is actually in your level 1, is how CrossFit defines strength. And CrossFit defines strength, and this is why it's so great that we have definitions, like definitive answers to the questions, because then we can train these or apply them to what we do. And they say strength is defined by the productive application of force. And in life, and they say this in the level 1, there are no pretty barbells out in the wild. There are no kettlebells. There are no dumbbells. There's just the world. And rarely ever you are going to be faced with a time that, say, this log falls into the road or like crashes in your driveway. Like we've had that. We had a few branches fall off our tree lately with some storms.
Because that's the big ones, huh?
Yeah. And what the whole purpose is why we train the way we train with such variance, is that we should be able to apply our strength in any form or fashion. And when Boz brought out this test of the strength test being basically a max sandbag to shoulder, it is to show you that you might have the best clean, jerk, deadlift, snatch in the game, but do you know how to use your strength? The productive application of force. Here, it was so primal. I think that's what was so exciting when it got heavy. It was just so fight or flight. Pick that shit up. It was so old school CrossFit. That's how we used to teach each other how to deadlift. Right?
I love the fact that the bigger that weight, the bigger that the bag got, you have athletes of different sizes, different arm lengths, different whatever, and there isn't an absolute way to do it. There's a better way, like get it to your knees and then try to get it up from there, and using your hips and all that. There's some basic general best practices, but then you're right. Then it's like, all right, you've made all this strength within your body with all these years of training. Now, how are you going to use it and apply it with some sort of direction to use your body and your arms to get that piece up on top of your shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really wicked. Like, Jackie Dahlstrom, come on, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I know Danny Spiegel had the biggest lift, but the winner on the women's side for me was Jackie Dahlstrom.
Both, top to bottom, men and women. Jacqueline Dahlstrom's pound for pound strength.
Unreal. Is unreal.
VJ's comment, my dad was watching the event and says, that's as heavy as a full wool pack. Is your dad Joel Gadet? Sounds like a Joel Gadet analogy. Which he's very good at. The sandbag event was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad Boz rolled out the 350 bag. I think everyone in the Coliseum would have rioted if everybody who got through the 340 bag that no one thought they were getting to. No one in testing got past 320. You know, the crazy part is Ricky Garrard, who got the 330 bag, I believe, couldn't even get the 260-pound bag, the first weight, in warm-up.
That's so crazy.
Talk about rising to the occasion.
Game day competitor.
Yeah. And this was cool, Brandon. You're right. The best part was watching the athletes learn and adapt throughout the event and throw it out the window and get primal exactly and decide to just pick the freaking thing up. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Just use your machine to do whatever it needs to do.
Yes. I have a 1,500-pound CrossFit total. Cool. Go pick up that 350-pound sandbag.
Right.
Shouldn't be a problem for you. You have a 600-pound deadlift and a 400-pound clean. Wow, how hard can it be? And you're right. There is a technical way to do it. I talked to all the strongmen about how to do this. You lap it, deep squat, you shoot the hips up and then leverage back. Or, as you said, whatever the hell it takes.
Whatever the hell it takes, man.
Whatever the hell it takes.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, Soccer Mom, the story about the bag is like they all got through 340 and Rogue, Bill and Katie Henniger out there were just like, they just made a 350 because I think they got to like the 6th bag and no one had been eliminated yet. Like, oh shit. That was pretty cool. I'm glad they did that. Oh, I wish Brent Fikowski would have got it. He freaking had that. Oh, that was great.
Oh, I didn't know Rob. Oh, Renato was your coach? That's cool.
Oh, really? Rob was one of the guys I was talking to. Oh, let's see. Oh, I wish we could have talked to Alpaca. That was a bummer. That was such a bummer that they had to change it so much.
Yeah.
About like history. Like that whole preview video was really cool. And then you have the back 9, which is just really heavy. Basically exactly of showcasing your strength with a barbell. Jackie Pro, row, thrusters, all that stuff. But we wanted to go through where this all came from, gang. CrossFit Journal. I'm going to figure out that CrossFit Journal, whatever I was talking about. Okay. And I think it'd be really cool to do read it like a book club. Just so I was like, hey, we're going to go through this journal article together on Wednesday. I think that'd be cool.
I think it'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to make it a surprise, we'll just let you guys know what we're going to do. Hey, everybody read this article and come with your thoughts. And we'll have a little round table together.
God, that'd be so good, dude. There was so much good stuff in there. Packed good stuff in there.
Yes. Caitlin. Yes. The rope climbs are going to be legless on the way up and on the way down. Per the video that you guys all saw. All right, gang. That's it. Hope you guys liked the little history lesson. Little look back. That was super fun.
I love those old videos, man. They're so good.
Yeah. I spent a way too much time looking at all that. But these are all the things I just stumbled across when studying just for the weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're going to do handstand push-ups facing the wall. I was like, okay. Where did that come from? And then I look at the original handstand push-up progression video and not once. Oh, I couldn't find this part in that link. Thank you, Brandon. Oh, yeah, I did. So after one of the Savant's podcasts, I got this random link to join this Zoom call.
Uh-huh.
And it's this group that basically gets together after Savant podcasts and just like talk about it. It's like watching The Walking Dead, and then they have this Walking
Dead recap of Savant's podcast.
Yeah, and I just clicked the link, and they're all in there, and it was really cool to see everybody. That was
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. But oh shit, what was I going to say before we hopped off? The handstand push-up. There's a line Carl Paoli had in there. He's like, yes, like getting to your back is great. Doing all that is very impressive. But he said, and this goes back to really like old school level 1 stuff, until you can do a front-facing handstand push-up with a perfect body position, you don't earn the right to turn your back to the wall. That was the line he had in there. And how much do we say that about ring muscle ups?
Yeah.
Learning how to do low ring transfers, and then until you get to an L sit from the floor, which is actually easier than a strict ring muscle up. But we teach that first. Teaching the strength and technique to do a strict pull up, to use that for kipping pull ups.
Yeah. So you have the ability to use, you have the strength to be able to use that for the technical aspects of the movement, and to keep yourself and to keep it protected through the movement.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, oh, we have all these shoulder injuries. Like, yes, because you're skipping steps.
Yep.
People love to kip. You know why? Because it gives you a false sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like when we go back to like people making fun of like kipping pull-ups are 0. It's like, yes, we can also do strict. But if you don't, you haven't really done it yet. When handstand push-ups were first used in CrossFit back in me and Bill's day, there was no such thing as a kipping handstand push-up.
Nope.
We can thank regionals in 2011 for that. You think JT's hard now? Try to do a strict handstand push-up. The first time I did Diane took me 26 minutes.
Damn.
I failed my handstand push-up, so I had to like sit there for minutes to get one. We also had like showroom concrete. We didn't have rubber mats. So my hands were like
sliding.
We didn't have sweatbands, and it's like I couldn't bounce off the ground. I was like, 26 minutes, my first Diane, as prescribed, with strict handstand push-ups. But that's the point, guys. It's not to say you should have known this at all. It's to encourage you guys that there's so much untapped potential out there for you, your coaches, and CrossFit Games athletes, that in 2023, who knows what people are capable of and what type of tests may come out. In 2023, we might see Diane with elevated off parallel bars. Low ones, right? It's like, okay, so it's 21-15-9, deadlifts at 315, and freestanding shoot throughs.
Oh, okay.
Right? Or it's like shoot through, walk to the end, and then come back. Something like that. That's on the table now. You have a year. Starting now. You have a year, everyone, to do your press to handstand from the floor and walk 100 feet unbroken. Shout out to Greg Glassman, January 1, 2004.
Yeah.
You have till next CrossFit Games. In fact, there should be in the CrossFit training tent a 100-foot straight shot, rubber mat, and a box. And in 1 year from now, if anybody can get that, fuck it. You want to make it fun? You want to tie in the CrossFit Games, training EDU, and affiliates? If you're an affiliate owner and you can fucking do that at the CrossFit Games, your fees should get waived for a year.
Yeah, affiliate guy, make that for me. I would take that.
They were doing it. There was contests. There were contests all this week. I know a guy that's in my my region who won a prize with his affiliate fee was waived for the year. They're already doing that.
What was the competition?
I can't remember. It was some test or like a raffle.
But
fuck a raffle.
Yeah.
Earn it.
Yeah. Do some
and while you're doing it, guess what's going to happen? Your members are going to hop in on board. Maybe you put that in your programming. And then we have this, instead of silos like, oh, the sport is not CrossFit and CrossFit is not training. It's like, it's all the same. And it all starts in the affiliate. And we use training department to get better at it. And we use the games to show people how good we can actually get.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. That was fun. I'm going to figure out this CrossFit Journal thing. That was super cool. Next episode, we are going to analyze the programming, which I know everybody is eagerly anticipating. I think those that were messaging us the most over the weekend are going to be sorely disappointed. I can't wait for you to talk about this shit. I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this shit either. It's going to be awesome. Look at us. Oh, all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging with us today. Thank you guys for watching online. Thank you guys so much who were on site, wearing your OG shirts, rocking your OG caps, rocking the patches. Thanks for coming to the OG Hangout. I think we found maybe our new thing at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Maybe if we're at Wadapalooza together or any type of off-season competition, I think we're going to have something like that. If Bill and I are both there or one of us is, we're going to set some stuff up more like that to hang out with you guys.
Hell yeah. It was so fun.
So fun.
So fun.
Really appreciate you guys rocking with us. It was nice to be back in action. It was freaking awesome to have you there, dude.
It was awesome to be there, man. I was so stoked.
And before we take off, shout out to Jeremy Austin.
Jeremy Austin.
We'll see you next Tuesday. You get it? It's an acronym. CUN Tuesday. That's for you, Jeremy. I am not going to say that shit on a podcast. I can only say that to you and your girlfriend, who was cool as shit. Jeremy, it was good to hang out. It's been a long time coming. Thanks for everybody that was joining us. Shout out to the CrossFit Games. Shout out to Adrian Bosman. Great freaking job. Go check out the journal. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys.